verse of Surah Al-Jumu'ah, the last line, وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ, if I remember correctly. He's the one, هُوَ الرَّزَّاقُ الْعَلِيمُ. He's the one that provides sustenance to everyone. If He's the Malik, if He's the one that controls everything, we receive sustenance. If He controls it, where does it come from? He brings it. He's created that sustenance and He delivers it to you. He gives it to you. In these so many different amazing ways that sometimes we need to be woken up to. I just saw a clip, I thought it's a clip of a fish eating this other fish. And then once I saw it, I just scrolled through, I didn't really pay much attention. Then I watched it once, the whole thing. It's a fish that comes by the riverbank, or I guess where it's a little more shallow. Another type of fish, I guess it is, that lives by the bank, it hides in the mud or something. It goes inside this fish and cleans it, or I don't know what it does. The food for this other fish, it goes all the way in. You think the fish eats it, but the fish has its mouth open waiting, and then it comes right back out. And it goes on, both of them live their own life. You look at that, see where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put the rizq of this creature, how this creature is receiving its sustenance, how the other creature is receiving its sustenance. And that's to wake us up. If we were to look at our lives, our daily lives, just open our eyes, how He provides sustenance. The rizq, the different forms of... He is Razzaq. He is the one that gives rizq. No one else gives rizq. This is the Quranic teaching. Based on that, He's Malik, He's the Ilah, there's no other Ilah. There's no one who's independent, there's no one that can do anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes everything happen. One of the results of that is rizq. That's mentioned in the Quran. Then this line, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. God promises. In your daily lives, in our daily lives, in our daily routines, He has told us to govern our lives in a certain way. Right? So you want to go by what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. You're going, okay, He says, don't lie, don't cheat. If you give your word, if you agree to a contract, make sure, regardless of Muslim, non-Muslim, you have got to go by your word. You don't break a contract. And a whole bunch of other things. There's gender relations. You can't shake hands with the opposite gender. And this, that, the other. All these different things. Right? So, Ya Allah, help me. I want to do this. So you want to go about and doing that. Well, He puts obstacles in your way. He puts you in a situation where you're thinking, okay, if I want to go by that, I'm going to lose my job. If I want to go by these rules, then I'm not going to get this job. If I want to do this, then I will lose this money here. And so on and so forth. There's plenty of examples. I don't need to be specific. You can all relate to that, I think. All of us can relate to that. So we reach a point where we see no way of maneuvering based on these rules. It's a dead end. We followed the map that God gave us. We got to this dead end. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. You think it's a dead end. He made that. He put that brick wall there to make a dead end. But do what I tell you, I will open it up. Didn't He put it there? He will take it away. He will take it away. He put it there, He will take it away. وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ. Taqwa means this. You go and abide by what He says. If you do that, this is a promise. And He's telling you this is how He, the Malik, governs His system. You do what I say. When you hit a dead end, I will open it up for you. وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ. He will provide sustenance for where you didn't expect. Because you see that dead end, based on your knowledge, it looks like a dead end. You don't see anywhere on earth where sustenance can come your way. Well, He says, I will give it to you from where you don't expect. مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ. This is in the Quran. Now, the difference between a believer in God, in Allah, and then the believer in this word being His word, and someone that just reads it and calls themselves Muslim, is this. The person who believes it, they're very comfortable. When they hit that dead end, like, okay, I did my taklif, I'm doing my taklif. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Okay, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. He says, I will provide you that. Here's one of the other things that happens. Again, I want to accept this example so that we holistically understand it. It's about the Quran. It's not about this one verse. So a person who believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and this being the word of God hits that dead end and they lose their job. I'm like, okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said He's going to provide. يَرْزُقُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ. Inshallah He will. I'm waiting. So okay, the first day goes by, second day, third day. I'm applying for jobs. Nothing is coming up. Week goes by. Nothing happens. Second week goes by. Nothing happens. Third week goes by. I'm starting to borrow. The first month goes by. I'm able to get the funds to get the rent in and the bills paid. Some of them are getting I'm still not finding a job. And then I start panicking, like, oh my God, what happened? I shouldn't have done that. I made a mistake, this, that, the other. I start cursing myself and so on and so forth. That's a person who has a basic understanding, a little bit of belief that allowed him to trust in it and take that one step. The one who's stronger, when they hit this, like, okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's promise is true. It can't be untrue. He said definitely. He said this for sure. Then why is it not happening? Why is it getting more difficult? Believers say, well, let me go back to the Quran. Let me read more. You read more, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُم مُّصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. That's also from Allah. We will test you with نَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ. You will lose belongings, your property, your money, what you own. We will test you with that. We gave it to you. We will take that from you as a test. We will take الثمرات in أنفس, your offspring, the results of your work, all of that, anything that can be referred to as a ثمرة. We will take that as a test. بشر الصابرين. Be patient. What's patience? الذين قالوا إنا لله. Oh, I forgot about this. The believer who really believes in that says, I forgot about this. The reason why I'm having this trouble here is because I expect things from Allah. I need to be patient. And in being patient, the only way, it says, الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ. My entire existence belongs to Him. Well, what can I expect? That was a mistake in my head, in my heart. It was a mistake. I have to correct that. And that's what the test is for. To help this soul elevate, to help this nafs reach النفس المطمئنة يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want you to be attached to the dunya. He wants you to become pure. He wants you to become His. So I believe that was a promise. And then here's another statement. Yes. In that promise, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after I learned that lesson, okay, inna lillah, I need to be patient. He promised. Then I go back to the promise itself. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Did it put a time on it? No. I expected it to be within a day or two. It's late. I'm like, God, why aren't you giving it to me? It's like a baby. First week goes by. What's going on? Did God put a time on it? No. In fact, in the following verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. If you rely on Allah, He is sufficient. I don't want to discuss this too much. This is very important. Read this. There's a reason why these particular few lines of the Quran we are encouraged to read after every salah. Read it with meaning. Remind yourself. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Inna Allah, this is the part now I want to refer to. Inna Allah balighu amrih. Qad ja'ala Allah likulli shay'in qadra. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put a portion, a measure, a time, an amount for everything. Know that. He promised He will give. There's a time for it. Wait, be patient. Apply for your jobs. Apply, try. That's part of taqwa. It's not outside of taqwa. But know that He's going to give. I did the right thing. I lost my job because I listened to what God said. And now I'm having trouble finding a job. Do I question God's promise? No. It's true. But I start adding. It becomes enriched. I start realizing, oh, inna lillah. We belong to Allah, not my belongings, not my stuff, not my children, no, I and everything I have, my thoughts, everything, it's all Allah's. It comes from Him. How can I have any expectation? He will give because He promised. I shouldn't have any expectation. I shouldn't have any expectation. This is just a few of the promises and beliefs in the Holy Quran that we as believers are supposed to have. Do we have them? Do we have them? You know how beautiful everything would become if we would start actually believing in this book, believing that it's from Him. One of the results, just one example I would want to share, hopefully, and after that. Life will be so much more beautiful. Our communities would look so much better. And we would feel so much better just living, every breath we take. One of the problems that we have in our communities is a problem of anger. And that anger is generally based on a certain belief system that we have in our heads and our hearts. The root of it, the foundation of it is that. We get ticked off easily. But why do we get ticked off? There's certain things that bother us. The root of it is, I consider myself something, and then when something is said that I take offense to, I find offensive, which means that there's something that's not respecting me the way I expect, I get angry. That's really the root of it, the essence, the cause of this anger that we take out in different ways. The weaker the person is, nobody's watching and it's a weak person there, like our children, just slap them up any way we want. Al-ayadu billah. If it's our spouse, and I say spouse because sometimes wives that maybe hit their husbands, but a lot of times it's the other way around. You find someone that you find weaker than yourself physically, and no one's around, you take it out any way you like. Or in words. Or God forbid we take grudges against people. We don't say anything there, but we're waiting for the right time to get back at them. A'udhu billah. Believers, mu'mineen, the essence, the root of the underlying problem there is in a wrong understanding that we have. You know what will happen if a believer actually thinks, Inna lillah, I belong to Allah. I don't have anything of myself. It's not mine. There's no me. There's a narration that makes sense based on the different things that we have. I haven't seen the narration myself. I've heard it from a great reputable scholar in Qum. And so I trust it because of the person who mentioned this hadith, and also because it fits with the rest of what we have. It says, Musa ala nabiyyina wa alihi wa alayhi salam, in one of the instances that he went to the mountain to speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as he was honored by Allah speaking to him, Allah told him, next time you come, I want you to bring someone that is inferior to you. You have to bring someone. It's an obligation. Bring someone that's inferior to you. Musa went back. There was a time he had to go and meet Allah, or go to the meeting point where he speaks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again. Between that last time and the next time, he looks at people. He's a prophet. He's one of the prophets who is ulul azm. He looks at just the general public, which are sinners probably. A lot of them are, compared to him especially. Keeps looking at them like, him. How do I know I'm better than this person and they are inferior? All sinners, they're Musa. This is a prophet. This is a Nabi. This is a Rasul. He leaves town. He couldn't bring anyone. On the way to the mountain, he sees the rotting corpse of a dog. Najasul ayn, or aynun najasa, right? Because it's mita and it's a dog. He sees the rotting corpse of a dog and he thinks for a second, it comes to him, this thought comes to him, maybe I can take this. Then he thinks and he says, I'm not better than this. And he goes to the mountain. Allah asks him, why didn't you bring anyone? He says, I couldn't find anyone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, if you would have brought, not people, if you would have brought that rotting corpse of the dog, you would have been stripped of all your positions of risala and nubuwwah and everything. How can a person with this inna lillah, it's not mine. Anything that's mine, anything that's attributed to me is all the negative stuff. Even that rotting corpse has something positive compared to all the negatives that I have. Now imagine if a person views themselves, first of all, this is the important thing. It's not about how we view others. It's about how we view ourselves. If I view myself in this way, where I don't consider myself anything, and it is possible. Let me give you another story. You might have heard this. I've mentioned it. Reminders again. One of the urafa at some point was going for the Fajr prayer to the masjid. A couple had a barbecue on the roof. In those regions, people would sleep on the roofs because of the heat at night. A couple had a barbecue the night before. They woke up for the Fajr prayer as well. They wanted to empty out their barbecue, so they did it unfortunately in the street. This Arif is walking to the masjid with someone who accompanied him. The ashes were dumped on his head. A very reputable person is going to the masjid, leading prayers perhaps. Everybody knows him. Or even if you don't have any of that, even if you're a child, you have somebody dumping ashes on your head, how would you feel? you're like me, get really angry. But look at this Arif. And Arif is a person who's actually realized that I'm nothing. The one who accompanied him got really angry, probably looked up and said a few unworthy words too. But then he looked at the Arif, he saw he's smiling. He said, why are you smiling? He said, this head that I know deserved fire. Allah only gave it ashes. If a person views themselves like that, how can you get them angry? How can they mistreat anyone? If we believe in the Quran and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and we got to work on it, brothers and sisters. If we realize this is from Allah, the King, Al-Malik, Al-Ilah, if we believe it is from Him, we know it's exactly true, 110%. We don't try it, we believe in it, we act upon it. We will see our lives, our communities would change drastically. And the more you go by it, the stronger you get in faith because you see it. There's a time where you experience it. I'll give you the example of Musa. The first time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed Musa those signs, Allah said, what's this that you're holding? قال هي عصاي أتوكأ عليها وأهش بها غنمي. I lean against it and I use it as a shepherd for my flock. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, throw it. Throw it, turned into a snake, big, huge. Musa ran. He was afraid of it. It's a real snake. I think some of us would do more than just running. We'd have to change our pants afterwards. God told him to throw it, it'll turn into a snake. He started running.